What about the ground as it continues to bake? Are we going to run into the dust bowl conditions we saw in the 20s and 30s when people overfarmed some areas?
Well, I think that today we've seen farmers, they certainly have adapted in terms of technology. Farming technology has improved dramatically since the 30s, so they have a better idea as to how to handle it. The big concern is going to be how long the drought is going to last. Back in the 30s, that drought lasted over the course of several years, and the same thing again with the 1950s, where we saw another multi-year drought as well. So really, that's kind of the big thing right now, is to see just how long-term the current drought is going to last. But this is definitely the worst since at least 1988.
Yeah, without question. And Mark, it's been a while since we heard people saying, "Come on, tropical storm, we need a direct hit." But certainly that would do a great deal for Texas. And if we look down into Mexico, the drought in Mexico has been worse than in the U.S.
Yeah, the conditions are bad the world over this year. It's just it looks as though the stars are properly aligned to have really kind of a bad kind of crop event, not just here, but as you had on the program earlier, in India as well, in a lot of in a lot of the Americas, and so you're right that at this point we're really praying for those tropical storms, minus the damage that they can bring forth as well.
Yeah, and also the Congress is kicking around some legislation, but there are conservatives and there are anti-tax folks that are lining up to stop this. What could that mean to farmers? People could say, look, farmers know what they're getting into. The weather conditions are on their end. Should we be providing aid?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think the issue is that this is emergency relief, right? And so if we're let me backtrack a second, right? So you say conservatives oppose these new measures for emergency kind of payouts to farmers. It is not necessarily in their interest to do so, right? Because traditionally, farmers, people in rural areas have voted. They've voted Republican, and they voted for more conservative politicians. And so I wonder how long they can actually hold out that rhetoric before they actually kind of cede ground and say, okay, we need to have some sort of program to tide these guys over. Okay,
and quickly put this into perspective for us. We've talked about this being the worst conditions in half a century. Are we going to be talking about this for decades to come? Mark?
As far as I can tell, this is the worst this is the worst that we have seen in 50 years, right? So
right.
We will be talking about this for decades. And what compounds the problem is that this comes on the heels of two other food crises. So if you remember, in the summer of 2008, food prices were very, very high, and then food prices got even higher in the winter of 2010, 2011.
Okay, gentlemen.
And so it seems like things are escalating more and more and more.
Well, gentlemen, we could talk about this throughout the
Yes,
evening.
John.
It is going to continue to pound the United States for some time. Let's hope that we do get some rain in the Midwest. Let's hope that tropical storm does come through.